Okay, it is time for Ask GMBN, a chance where we can really answer any question that you've got about mountain biking. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've not done this for a while, but let's get into it.
You gonna be okay with it?
I think I'll try my best anyway. First one's aimed at you, Scotty, and this is from Hugo. He says he's noticed you had a pretty long career racing, including the Cube team. Why did you stop, and do you have your old racing jerseys?
Why did I stop? Well, Neil, I just wanted to be in the shed with you.
Poached, didn't you?
Yeah, I got poached. But I have got my old racing jerseys, and one of them is hanging right up there. It's a new addition to the shed for 2017.
Nice. I've kept a racing jersey from every year I raced.
Yeah, same here.
Them at home.
Could have a right long clothes horse of them hanging there.
Yeah. Next question comes from Kick Fat Kids. That's a bit nasty, but anyway, I'll ask the question. GMBN, how do I convert from a non-tapered to tapered fork? So non-tapered to tapered.
Well, you can't convert the fork, can you? But what you could do is you could convert the frame, I guess, essentially, especially if you had 1.5 inch top and bottom cups.
Yeah.
But
it's unlikely that you'd really want it, to be fair.
Yeah.
You might be able to convert if you've got one of those unusual frames. It is 1/2 the whole way through, but there aren't many of those around. So.
And of course, if you did need to get the tapered steerer tube, then you could actually just buy the tapered steerer tube. That's the only way to convert.
True. Right, next question. Kenneth Helms, I spotted a Garmin Phoenix and a Vivo Active on your wrist. That's a Phoenix, actually. Do you guys use cycling computers as well, or just wrist computers?
I mix it up a little bit. I use cycling computers on the bigger rides that I do, but on daily life, I use this bad boy for absolutely everything.
Same answer, actually, yeah. I do quite like it on my cross-country bike where I've got a longer stem, stick my computer right down there and I can watch the numbers a little bit more.
Yeah, and you've got a bigger screen to look at as well. Yeah. It's a little bit easier. And if it's a long climb, then it can sometimes be just a little bit of a distraction.
Plus, I've got a power meter as well, so that's stuff that I probably would want to look at when I'm riding. Okay, Liam O'Neill. Are there any rules for the wheel size you can use in slopestyle? Well, there's definitely not any rules.
No, there's not any rules, but people tend to do 26 inch, don't they?
Smaller the better, really. Smaller, they're going to be stronger, which is great for, you know, when you do those big tricks and those big heavy landings. So mainly 26, maybe a few 27.5.
Yeah, we had a similar question on this last week, which was all about if you could do big jumps in a 29er. And Blake's decision was that he'd never actually ridden one, which meant that 26 inch is the best for jumping.
It is true.
But for these slopestyle events, what do the bikes look like and what are the characteristics of them? Well, let's have a look. 26 inch wheels, sometimes a hardtail, other times a full suspension bike with only 100mm of travel. Generally single speed as well, and the rear derailleur is used as a way of tensioning the chain.
Next question comes from Boris van CAUTEREN. Hashtag Ask GMBN. Hi, I ride a Trek Superfly, which is a hardtail 29er. Would it be an improvement to fit my old 26 inch rims under it when I ride trails / light enduro?
I'm probably going to not say that it is an improvement, but there are a few cons to it.
Just because you could do it doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have a lower bottom bracket, the geometry is going to be off. And I actually think when pedaling on some of the rougher trails, you'd be catching your pedals, which could be a result in going over the bars.
The only time I've ever heard of this and it being good was, I remember a guy won the Mega Avalanche and it was really muddy.
True.
He put 26 inch wheels in a 27.5 just so he had the more clearance. But like I say, it drops out.
Yeah, but that's 27.5 to 26.
That's a
29
to 26. We should
26?
try it. Make a good video.
Yeah, okay, let's try it.
Right. Benjamin SAMARDZIC, sorry I ruined that name. Hashtag Ask GMBN, is there any significant difference in grip between tubeless and tubed tyres while both having the same pressure?
I'm going to say yes. Would you agree?
Say, don't know.
But this is a video that we're actually talking about doing.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future you could watch this space and we will have your answer done.
Yeah, let's try it. Right.
But I'm going to say more grip.
I'm going to say probably the same. Adam Gruppetta. What is the point in Kashima coated stanchions? So that's Fox Kashima, the gold plated, looks nice and shiny. What difference does it make? Is it worth the extra money?
I don't know about if it's worth the extra money. I'm going to say yes, because it does make it a little bit more supple, especially the small bump compliance. Really nice. And the whole thing behind the Kashima is, I'm looking for a special word.
Stiction.
Not even stiction. It's all about that it can get more oil. So it's got little kind of like porous.
Yeah.
So it can actually pull more oil through the seals, and that is why it's slipperier.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
So it should make them work that little bit better.
Yeah.
Aiden, hey, I'm looking into buying a downhill bike, but I'm not sure what size to get. I'm 14 years old and 191 centimeters tall. What size would you recommend?
See, I took this question because I thought 191 centimeters,
tall.
that's taller than I am.
That is tall.
And I ride a large or an extra large. So I'm going to say you want to get that extra large.
Sounds about right.
And we've got a video all about this, and it's all about, does size matter? Does it?
So Scott, you're always talking about getting your bike set up perfectly for yourself, like sag and tyre pressure and all those things. Have you ever wondered how much difference it actually makes? I think we should have a race. Put a time in on this downhill track on our own bike, so we've set up ourselves, swap bikes, I ride yours, you ride mine, see what the time difference is.
Well, I'm always up for a challenge, so I guess, why not?
Let's do it. Next one comes from Tone. Hiya. Does your new presenter know anything about the mechanics of a mountain bike, or is he just really nervous? He knows some things, I would definitely say.
He knows how to do a good hack and a bodge.
Yeah, he can definitely weld.
Yeah, well, there we go.
Right, GAPI, can I put a dropper seat post onto a dirt jump bike? It's another one of those, yes you can, but probably why would you? I suppose you could then use the bike to get to and from the dirt jumps.
Yeah, but you're probably
fine.
never going to be able to get that same saddle height that you actually want, because you're going to...
It almost seems a bit extravagant to me. You might as well just have a quick release. If you're riding to and from dirt jump, you're going to leave it in the same spot. But
quick release and a really long seat post.
Yeah, good. Mr. XB950, good name. Coil or air springs for cross country?
Air springs.
Well, if we're talking about racing, almost exclusively, actually probably exclusively air, all the pros. Can't think of anyone that runs coil.
Well, it's so much heavier, that's a straight away big disadvantage. You've got an air sort of spring compared to a coil spring, and the coils are generally made of steel, and they're just that bit heavier, and that is probably why you don't see any of the cross-country World Cup races ever riding one.
In fact, it really is only downhill bikes, I suppose, now, really, with a coil spring.
A couple of enduro bikes still do it.
Not many. Okay, next one, SA Challenge Masters. Does your height affect a manual or a wheelie? Can do a little bit, I would say way more than anything. I've seen young kids moving around loads on the bike, but just because they haven't got quite the weight to throw around, it can be a little bit harder to pick the front wheel up into a manual. The wheelie probably doesn't matter quite so much because you're powering it that little bit more. So yes, it does.
And then we should just throw them straight to a video all about how to wheelie, and they can check it out, get some top tips, and hopefully make those wheelies last a bit longer.
So let's start with setup. Any bike can be wheelied, cross-country bike, downhill bike, hardtail, whatever. Some are easier than others though. I like to do this with my saddle nice and high because you're going to be pedaling, and that's the most comfortable position to be pedaling in. Also, gearing is really important. If you have it in too low a gear, you're going to spin out really quick and you won't keep the front wheel up. So have it in a gear that's almost 1 or 2 gears too hard for your current speed. Practice this on a slight uphill so that you're not going to start going too fast. And now it's the time to try and get that snap of the pedals to get the front wheel up. I like to do this as my favourite foot just goes past the top of the revolution and starts to drop. But try both pedals and you'll find one feels better than the other, and it isn't necessarily your favourite foot. Now it's time for the quick fire round. You ready? Whoa. It's Dill. Yeah. When is Scotty getting a haircut?
Done.
Go on. Teddy POULETT, GMBN, could you do a video tutorial on tuck no-handers?
Can you?
I can do them actually, yes, but Blake is the man to do that, so yes. MINJA, can I use a floor bike for interval training?
Yes.
Turbo trainer, I guess he means. Yep, perfect for it. All MTB, what size wheel would you prefer for cross-country racing?
29-inch.
Me too. Jack BROPHY, do you need a license to do a downhill race?
I'm going to say yes, it's advisable.
Probably. Not all of them, some of the smaller races you might not, but probably. DECLAN RITCHIE, how can you rail berms?
Just hit them harder, have fun, smile, take your foot off. Maybe we should do a video.
I think we probably have, but yeah, we'll do another. Is it okay to wheelie standing up?
Yeah.
HAYDEN, that's wrong by the way. Yes, absolutely fine. Prince AMOAKO DADEY, if I ride a 400 watts with one leg versus someone riding at 400 watts with 2 legs, does it mean I'm stronger?
Man, he's real strong. But I'm going to say yes. I mean, I don't know if you'd get 800 watts by using both legs, but
yeah,
I'm going to say 400 watts with one leg, you're a strong dude.
Yeah. Sam Walsh, what's your favourite riding conditions?
Wet and sloppy, so you're sliding everywhere.
I do like that, but my favourite would probably
actually
be
low.
dry. Low.
Low, yeah.
I'll agree.
Hero dirt.
Chris HANSON, steel hardtail or aluminium hardtail? Steel.
Steel.
Nice, old school. Motocross boy, will Blake do tutorials on dirt jumpers?
Definitely.
That's what he's here for. Manuel Lizardi, did Martin O'Neill get fired?
Well, Neil's here.
I'm back. I didn't get fired. I just wasn't in that video.
Yeah.
A couple of videos.
Martin will be here later.
Yeah.
He'll be here tomorrow on the Dirt Shed.
Well, that's it for Quickfire Round.
That was a good round. Remember, they can keep leaving questions for us in the comment section down below using that hashtag AskGMBN. And of course, sending them to the email address ask@gmbn.com. But it's time for Correct Me If I'm Wrong.
It is.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This week it's from Ed Pedder, and he's really struggling with manuals, and he wants to know how can he do them better.
Right, let's take a look.
Well, Neil, what do you think? Come on, you're the manual expert, so give him some tips.
Well, it actually looks really good. Technique looks perfect. With the arms are straight, your weight's back. What I would say, it makes it much easier to hold a manual if you bring your bum lower. So let's say that's your rear axle through the middle of your back wheel. And the closer you get your weight to that, the less you have to move around. See what I mean? Almost think about it like a pie chart with something in the middle. If you're up there, you have to move a long way around to get the same effect as being close down here to moving that far. And the lower you get, it'll make that a lot easier and you'll be able to hold the manual that much longer, hopefully. That's it for this week's Ask GMBN. Don't forget to leave your questions down below.
And this logo right here is here for one reason, and it is to subscribe. So by subscribing, you'll never miss a video from GMBN again.
Click over here for how to do a suicide no-hander.
And if you want to know how to manual, then click right here. And there's only one thing left to do.
Give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this week's Ask
And
GMBN.
check out the shop.
Oh yeah, 2 things.